The United Nations has officially launched the process to elect its next Secretary-General on Tuesday, November 25, 2025, with a historic call: nominate a woman to break the organization's 80-year glass ceiling. In a joint letter, the Presidents of the Security Council and General Assembly explicitly stated their regret that no woman has ever held the position of Secretary-General, urging member states to strongly consider nominating women as candidates. The formal invitation marks the beginning of a year-long race to select the 10th UN Secretary-General, who will take office on January 1, 2027, succeeding Antonio Guterres after he completes his second 5-year term. The UN Charter explicitly refers to the Secretary-General using masculine pronouns, he, reflecting the male-only history of the role since 1945. The 193-member General Assembly will vote on the recommendation from the 15-member Security Council. But ultimately, the 5 permanent veto-wielding powers, the United States, Russia, Britain, China, and France, must agree unanimously on a candidate. If any P5 member casts a veto, the entire process resets. When Antonio Guterres was elected in 2016, it took 6 separate straw polls before consensus was reached among the Security Council. Several candidates have already publicly declared their intention to run. Michelle Bachelet of Chile, nominated by President Gabriel Boric on September 23rd, is a former 2-term president of Chile, the first woman to hold that office, and served as the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights from 2018-2022 and as Executive Director of UN Women from 2010-2013. Boric praised her as a woman whose life story is deeply consistent with the values that inspire this organization. Rebeca Grynspan of Costa Rica, nominated by President Rodrigo Chavez on October 10th, currently serves as Secretary-General of UN Trade and Development, UNCTAD, and previously served as Vice President of Costa Rica. Chavez highlighted her very broad experience in issues of development, international cooperation, and regional leadership. Rafael Grossi of Argentina, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, has also formally entered the race. Additionally, David Choquehuanca, nominated by a coalition of 36 indigenous groups from Bolivia, is considered a candidate, though it remains unclear whether Bolivia's new leadership will formally endorse his candidacy. Regional diversity and gender balance are explicitly cited as selection priorities in the UN's formal guidelines. The push for a female Secretary-General carries historic weight. In 2016, when the position was supposed to rotate to Eastern Europe, several strong female candidates emerged, including Bulgarian economist Kristalina Georgieva and Moldovan diplomat Natalia German. But Antonio Guterres, a male from Portugal, ultimately won, breaking the regional rotation. The tradition of regional rotation is supposed to follow a pattern: Africa, Asia, Latin America, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and so on. According to convention, Latin America's turn is now, making Bachelet and Grynspan particularly strong candidates. However, some diplomats expect candidates from other regions may still emerge. The election represents not just a personnel decision, but a statement about whether the UN, an organization created in 1945 to prevent future global conflicts, can finally break its own gender ceiling at the highest levels. The outcome will be decided through a complex dance of geopolitical negotiation, veto power, and regional pressure among the 5 permanent Security Council members.